Hi guys, and welcome back to another video and another season where today we're going to attempt the impossible, where we're going to attempt to predict the 2019-2020 Sky Bet Championship League tables. So let's get stuck in with a two-footed tackle into the predictions.
Okay, so first up, we're going to start from the bottom and go all the way up, and I'm going to start with the bottom three teams who I think are going to get relegated this season. Now, rock bottom, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this one, but I put Wigan bottom. Mainly because I don't think they've got a strong enough squad to sustain at this level. I believe they've let quite a few players go and they haven't brought many in either. Their managers, I think their manager's alright. He's managed Portsmouth and Chesterfield and he's been in the job since 2017. Paul Cook, I believe their manager is, but I just can't see them doing well this season.
Just rock bottom. Even above the promoted teams, yeah?
Even above the promoted teams. Actually, just a spoiler for this one, I think all the promoted teams are going to stay up this season.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, unfortunately, bottom Wigan. 23rd, I have gone Reading. Now, Reading look absolutely dreadful going into this season. Brought in a manager, Jose Manuel Gomez, sort of unproven in this country. I believe he's been the number two to quite a few teams in the past. I think he was at Porto or something, was their number two. Players they bought in Charlie Adam. I'm just going to leave that there. Just bringing
on a free, yeah.
On a free, just bringing in Charlie Adam with the state he's in, especially his fitness. He looks like he's been down KFC for the last 2 years. I think, yeah, they've got no chance at all. I'm surprised I haven't put them bottom, to be honest, but they have brought in some loanies, but I can't see them surviving this season. So 23rd, Reading. 22nd have gone QPR. Now Mark Warburton is their manager. Sort of one of those again. I don't think he's really cut out for this level. I can see him being sacked halfway through the season. Haven't brought in too many players. I think they're recovering from a transfer embargo. Or was that in January?
It was for the first part of last season, I think.
Yeah. So they're still recovering from that. They have to be careful with their finances and stuff. But sort of another thing, they haven't brought in too many good players, and they had a sort of a close escape last year, and I can't see them surviving this season. So I've gone QPR for 22nd position.
Okay, so my bottom of the table, rock bottom, I've gone for Reading, like you. Yeah, not the best. Bringing in Charlie Adam, I think that's their only signing so far. I know there's a week to go before the start of the season. They may bring in some more players as well, but it's not just that. Just looking at their squad, they haven't got the strength really. I think, and they've been looking down that trap door now for the last couple of seasons. So I think they're going to fall through. In 23rd position, I've gone for Millwall. Like Reading, yeah, Millwall. I know they brought in a few players, but I know they've lost. Is it Lee Gregory who's gone to Stoke? Their striker, I think it was the top scorer possibly last season. So they have brought in about eight new players, I believe, so far. But the type of players that they brought in, they've been too young. I know they got Connor Mahoney, I think, from Bournemouth. Brought him in on £1 million transfer, but is he going to make the difference? Can they stay up with this sort of signing? Overall, they've lost quite a few players as well. They've, out the door, have gone at least 15 players there. And last year they survived by the skin of their teeth. Prior to that, they had a pretty good season the season before, but I think they're going to go back down to Division 1, unfortunately. In 22nd position, I've gone for one of the promoted teams, and that's Barnsley. Now, I know they've lost a couple of their centre-backs. Is it Ethan Pinnock, who's gone to Brentford? He did ever so well last season, gaining promotion, of course, with Barnsley. And they've also lost Liam Lindsay as well, who signed for Stoke City. Stoke City, I think, is going to have a fairly good season this year. But unfortunately for Barnsley fans, I think you're going to go straight back down, unfortunately.
Okay, moving on to 21st to 15th, I have gone in 21st Birmingham City. Now, they sold Che Adams, that's all I can say. One of their best players. They haven't replaced him with anything. I can't see them replacing him with anything at all. Their squad seems to be a bit thin. I'm surprised, to be honest. I was going to put them for relegation, but somehow Birmingham always seem to survive. So I put them 21st. Their manager, Pep Clollett, or however you say his name, I just don't think he's going to do well this season. I think he needs a year to adjust, to be honest. But yeah, 21st Birmingham City. 20th I've gone for Barnsley. Now, Barnsley while you say they've got rid of a lot of players, they're just really getting rid of the deadwood and sort of adjusting to the Championship.
You could say they need to get better players than they've got in there for the higher level.
Exactly, hence why all the releases, same with Millwall, which I'll get onto in a minute, but they did get rid of one of their centre-backs, so if I can see them bringing 1 or 2 in on loan. They seem to have a few loan players in as well, so I think they'll just narrowly survive and stay up this season. In 19th place have gone for Hull. Now, main reason is their squad is looking a bit thin as well, and they got rid of some pretty important players on free transfers or releasing them, probably to cut their wage bill, and they haven't really brought anyone in of note. It was just a few League 1 and 2 players, which, to be honest, isn't the best, and they've got a player on loan from Everton into 23s, which is a bit mental. The manager, I think, is also a bit unproven for the Championship, so I can't see him doing well this season, and I'm going to put him 19th after I think Nigel Atkins left, didn't he? In 18th we've got Millwall. Now they've had a pretty clear route after surviving in the Championship for the last 2 seasons, and they're trying to bring in sort of players that are cut out for this level. They haven't really brought anyone in of note, but I can still see them doing well and finishing 18th, sort of comfortably settling in the Championship this season. In 17th have gone for another promoted club, Charlton. Now they've brought in a few good free transfers and sort of kept their squad from League 1, so they've renegotiated a contract with Johnny Williams, I believe, which is fantastic for them, and other players that are going to really help them out push into mid-table of the Championship. So I think they've done well there, and I think they're going to finish 17th this season. In 16th we've gone for Luton Town. They have splashed the cash, to be fair. I think they've spent about £2-3 million already, which is great for a team that's just come up from League 1. Their manager, who of course took over last year after Nathan Jones left to go to Stoke, I believe, I think they're comfortably going to stay in this league, and I think they're going to finish 16th. In 15th I've gone for the Jacks, the lot down the roads. Now they've had a massive clear out, haven't really brought anyone in. They've lost Dan James, one of their biggest players. They keep losing a few of their players. They've brought in Steve Cooper, who's managed the England under-17s. He's won the World Cup with them. But then again, has he had any experience managing a fully professional squad? No. And I think with the squad he's got, with the limitations he's got, I think he's going to struggle. And also playing attractive football sometimes hindered Swansea a bit last season. So where they didn't push on to win. They just kept playing their attractive football. Then got destroyed on the counter-attack or destroyed on set pieces. So I can't see him doing well this season, and they aren't really going to sign anyone either, so 15th for them.
So my 21st to 15th are as follows. So in 21st position, surviving just by the skin of their teeth, I've gone for newly promoted Luton Town. I think they've kept on or hold of or just re-signed Luar, who was an exciting winger from last season. If he's on form and if his mind's on it, then he could be the key to their season. So Luton, I can see in 21st. Struggling in 20th position, I'm going to go for QPR again. I think they're going to be, in the lower echelons of the Championship for another season. But I think they've just got enough to stay up again this season, similar to what they did last year, really. In 19th position, I could have had this team a lot lower, and I've gone for Wigan. I think, like last season, they're going to rely on their home form to pull them through. Notoriously bad away from home, but they haven't really brought in a lot over the close season. I know David Marshall has come in on a free transfer from Hull. Since his Cardiff days, he hasn't really done that much, in and out of different teams, really. And they've got Lewis McLeod from Brentford as well. So, I think Wigan are going to struggle a lot this season. In 18th position, I've gone for the last of the promoted teams. That's Charlton. Now I know they've had a lot of off the field antics recently, but
they're always bickering down.
I think the togetherness in the squad, the way they got promoted last season as well, I think that it's going to stand them in good stead for this season, and I think they're going to do okay. They've had a lot of changes in personnel, quite a lot going out the door, and quite a few coming in. I'm not sure if Ben Amos, the goalkeeper, coming in,
that's a shocking choice.
Whether he'll be back.
He was
up
awful.
there.
Look at it.
Yeah, Johnny Williams, as you said a little bit earlier as well. They've re-signed him, so I expected a lot of Johnny Williams in the past, but he hasn't reached his full potential yet. Maybe another season back in the Championship, he can he can get back on track. I know that Deji Osholoaja, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was out here at Cardiff. He's had a few clubs as well. He's at Wimbledon as well. I think that's where Charlton have signed him from on a free transfer. So I think they'll be okay. Charlton. Next, I've got Hull. Haven't really done a whole lot of research on Hull. I know they've had a lot of players going out the door themselves. I think they're not going to have the best of seasons as long as they stay in the Championship. I think the fans will be fairly happy with that, or satisfied.
I mean, their fans are happy enough as it is, because since the owners changed their name back, which is good.
Yeah, and looking at their kit this season, have you seen it with these sort of tiger stripes across?
It's a throwback to the 90s, but to be honest, I don't rate it.
No, I quite like it. It's alright. It's different. It's not over the top. It's sort of, I know that, I think it's got the orange down there and the sort of the tiger flashes, and I quite like it. But maybe we'll do a kit video. You know, that it's not. This isn't the video for that, but yeah, I've gone for Hull in 17th position. In 16th position, I've gone for Birmingham. I know they're all over the place at the moment. They could finish a lot lower than this position, but looking at the teams below them, I don't think they're as bad as those teams. So yeah, Burnley. I know that Che Adams has gone out as well, so that's a big blow for Birmingham. So, but I've gone for 16th there, and in 15th position, Preston. You never know what you can get. Well, you do know what you're going to get. You're going to get a solid team with Preston, but I think they're going to finish in 15th this season, which is probably a little bit disappointing for their fans. But I think they're going to be, they'll hold their own overall. And
you're going to get a lot of hate in the comments for that one.
Yeah, but there we are. I'm going for 15th for Preston. Tough place to go though, especially in a midweek fixture.
We always get drenched there as well. Every time.
Yeah, and it will be tough for away teams to go to, but away form and whether they can get enough wins this season, I'm not so sure.
Okay, so moving on to 14th to 7th. Now this is just below the playoffs. So in 14th position, I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, managerless now since Steve Bruce left earlier in the week. I'm pretty sure that was pretty illegal what they did, or what Steve Bruce did. I believe Sheffield Wednesday are taking legal action on him, but
I think they've asked the league to look into it. So.
Yeah, because if Newcastle want to approach him, then they got pretty much buy him, because I think he did have a release clause in his contract, and you can't just resign willy nilly and then go to another club, which is what Steve Bruce did.
I think he's a big Newcastle fan, or he supported him, or they supported Newcastle as a kid. So maybe. He had to take this opportunity when he could. Maybe it will never come up again. So
maybe he had to, but at the same time,
it's dodgy.
It's horrendous. That is the way they've conducted it. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, Sheffield Wednesday. Not much has happened there. He has brought in some players, Steve Bruce, before he left, splashing the money. But is there any left? I can't see much happening at all this season for them, so I think they're going to finish 14th.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the managerial position has been filled there either.
No, it's still vacant at the moment. They're still trying to find someone.
They need to get somebody in quick.
They do. In 13th position, I've gone for Blackburn. Main thing is they've held on to Bradley Dack, which is absolutely fantastic for them. They're starting to really build into a proper Championship squad now. It may be in a few years' time. I know some Blackburn fans may or may not laugh at me, but I reckon they could maybe make a promotion push maybe in 2-3 years' time, which would be really good for them if they could get back into the Premier League.
I think a few of their fans feeling they could even push for the playoffs. I think that's out of their reach.
I think it is this season. I reckon a few more years of building their squad, maybe spending a little bit more money, or getting or doing an Norwich City where you don't spend that much money and still go up, or even a Cardiff like some fans would say. But I think it'll be a solid season for them, and I think it'll be 13th this season. In 12th, I've gone for Forest. Yet another manager out the door. They did splash the cash last season. Went through 2 managers. I believe Martin O'Neill. Was he sacked? Or I think he was either sacked or resigned. Same for Roy Keane as well. Of course, club legend there, or club legends there in at the City ground. But I think it's just going to be another standard season for them. I think they're going to finish 12th. In 11th, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one as well, but I have gone for Bristol City in 11th.
That's quite low, wow.
That is low for them, but they have brought in a lot of players. They spent over £11 million, which is quite a lot for the Championship. They brought in players such as Thomas Callas from Chelsea.
Well, he was there last year.
He was there last year, yeah. Same with Jada Silva as well, and Daniel Bentley, who is a Brentford goalkeeper, and they brought in some players on loan from the likes of Lincoln and stuff. To be honest with Bristol, they did alright last season, but I just can't see them progressing forwards. With they've got a good manager in Lee Johnson, but can he push the team forward? That's the question. And can they possibly push for automatic promotion or the playoffs? I just can't see that happening. I don't think they're going to bring in any more players now. They've pretty much done all the business. But to be honest, I just can't see it happening, because it hasn't happened the last few years either. So I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to put Bristol City in 11th place. In 10th, we've gone for Brentford. Now, of course, last season at Griffin Park, absolutely cracking little ground there. 4 pubs at each corner, I believe.
Something like that, yeah. The away stand's quite nice there too.
Well, it is if you... it's literally on the floor, isn't it? Quite one of the weirdest places you could ever go to in the Championship, really. Shame that's being knocked down. But their new ground is looking pretty spectacular, to be fair. But yeah, Brentford's been pushing on in the Championship for the last few seasons now. Brought in some good players. I believe they brought in David Raya, who is the Blackburn keeper as well. And they also brought in Pontus Jansson from Leeds. That was quite a shocking transfer, to be fair. Didn't expect that one to happen at the end of last season. But yeah, they brought in a new manager, Thomas Frank, after Dean Smith left last season to go to his boyhood club Aston Villa. Now look where he brought them success. Will he be proven? I don't think so, and it's going to be 10th for Brentford this year. In 9th position, I've gone for Preston North End. Now, they've been knocking on the door of the Championship playoffs for the last few years now. I think they're going to be doing the same again this season. They have brought in some players on free transfers, and they brought in David Nugent, which is a bit dodgy in my opinion for $1.5 million.
Really, I think he scored 2 goals last year, didn't he? I
mean, that's a bit overpriced, especially for a 34-year-old as well.
Well, he's going to add a bit of experience there, because I think they've got a youngish team at Preston.
Yeah, they do, to be fair. They have got rid of some good players as well, such as Callum Robinson on the wing. I believe he was fantastic last year.
Sheffield United, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a good transfer for him. But yeah, like I said, they're going to be knocking on the door again, I think, this season. In 8th position, I've gone for Derby County, which I might get a bit of hate for as well. Now, they've got a new manager, Philip Koku from the Netherlands. I believe he was a class player back in the day. They have brought him in, of course. Frank Lampard did depart. He went and signed for Chelsea, or went and took the Chelsea job after all the anarchy that are down there in Stamford Bridge. I believe they paid £4 million for him in that region.
Something like that, yeah.
I'll get onto that in the Premier League video anyway. But they brought him in. I think that's a good appointment for them. Yeah, he's been in management for a few seasons now, Koku. But
when he at Fenerbahce or something?
Yeah, I think he was at Fenerbahce last season. But yeah, so Derby have actually sold loads of players. They've lost Nick Blackman, David Nugent, Greg Bryson, which is quite shocking.
Aberdeen,
That's quite shocking for a 900k actually, because I actually rated him, to be fair, when he was at Cardiff. They've also lost Bradley Johnson to Blackburn as well, and of course they lost all their loanies who of course Frank Lampard brought in last season that really made the team, such as Harry Wilson, Mason Mount and stuff. They haven't really spent any money either. They haven't spent anything at all this season, but there's still time to go, of course. But I don't think they're going to do much. And 8th place for Derby this season. In 7th, which is probably the most unluckiest place in the Championship, I have gone for Huddersfield Town, who've just been relegated from the Premier League now. Huddersfield, I think this is their rebuild time, to be fair. They have lost a few players. They've lost their keeper, Jonas Lossell, to Everton, who's going to be their backup keeper now.
I know that they've kept a load of players as well.
They have, to be fair. They've kept Aaron Wood, which is
Congolo as well. I think a defender there, and is it Fashunga who didn't score that many in the Premier League anyway. So,
but anyway, I don't think they're going to. I can't see them doing much this season, to be fair. They've got Jan Sievert, who I think might try and spend some money, but is there any money to spend? And I think for the next 1 or 2 seasons, they're going to have to try and rebuild Huddersfield after being relegated from the Prem. And of course, they were third worst team in Prem history. So, 7th Huddersfield Town.
So my 14th to 7th position, I'll try and make this a little bit quicker now, quicken the video up. I've gone for Swansea in 14th position. Okay, they've lost a lot of players, but a load of them didn't play. Boney was out on loan anyway. Biggest one, of course, is Daniel James to Manchester United. There are others like Leroy Fer. I think he may have played around about 20 games last season, so maybe a little bit of a loss there from midfield, but they got an okay squad. I think they're strong enough for a sort of this lower mid-table finish. They're not going to pull up many trees. They haven't really signed anyone. I think they've got is it Jack Bidwell from QPR? He's a defender. Is he a left back or right? I think he's a left back. But and they've brought in a goalkeeper. Looks like he's going to be a backup goalkeeper from Merthyr Town, Lewis Webb. So it must be a young keeper there. But overall, I can't see Swansea doing anything. Maybe the highlight of their season is going to be the derby against Cardiff,
which they're going to lose probably 6-1.
We will see. Okay, next we got in 13th position. I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. We've already said about the managerial turnaround there. They've got a decent enough team there, but I can only see them finishing in mid-table. Perhaps if Bruce would have stayed, then they could have pushed on a little bit more there.
They have signed Kadeem Harris as well, which I think is brilliant for free as well.
It is, but I think with Kadeem Harris, he blows hot and cold. Sometimes he'll play one game really well and he's a bit of a world beater, but then you won't see him for about 5 or 6 games, so he's sort of a 1 in 6 game player, really. So I think he'll probably start off the season in good form, but then his form goes up and down. But I suppose he was sort of in and out of the side at Cardiff anyway. So next in 12th position, I've gone for Blackburn. Everybody mentions Bradley Dack. They brought in Stuart Downing in from Middlesbrough, and Bradley Johnson, as we've already said, from Derby County, and Sam Gallagher from Southampton, something in the region of around about 5 million. So a good signing there. Whether they can push on to the playoffs, I don't think they're quite there yet. Going out the door, they haven't really lost any key players as such. I know David Raya has gone to Brentford, and that's a good signing for Brentford, but apart from him, it's really getting rid of the deadwood there. In 11th position, now this is a bit of a shock, I've gone for Middlesbrough. Last couple of seasons, I know they've got a very, very good squad on paper.
But they don't have Pulis ball playing anymore.
They don't, but Woodgate, he's been part of the coaching staff there last season, and it's going to be his backroom staff. How are they going to fare there in getting that good squad on paper into try and challenge for promotion this season? But I don't think they're going to do it this year. Last couple of years, I think last year I predicted them to finish first. They let me down big time, so I think they're going to be just above mid-table this season. Next up, another team that looks really good on paper. Some excellent players there at Nottingham Forest, but I'm going to put them in 10th position. And we could see them creep into the playoffs, but for the interest of this video, I've had a look at a lot of the other teams, but I think Forest are going to finish in 10th. In 9th position, I've gone for Huddersfield. Absolute terrible in the Premier League.
Horrific last year.
Horrific. I know they did have a couple of good games, but you're going to get that in a 38 game season. You will have a few good results, but overall terrible. I think when teams come down from the Premier League as well, they're not all challenging. They're not all going to go back up. I think Huddersfield, they're not going to do sort of a Sunderland and drop down to Division 1. I think they're going to be okay, but it's going to be a solid season, but nothing to write home about, I don't think.
No, can't see it happening.
In 8th position, I've gone for Derby. Now, Derby have been in around the playoffs the last, since I can remember.
Since they were the worst team in history.
I think so. That sort of losing Lampard. Okay, he was only there for 1 season, but a lot of players have gone out the door as well. Is it Cuckoo's come in?
Cuckoo's come in.
He's got a fairly good pedigree behind him, but this is the Championship. Although I think I said this, or we both said this about Bielsa last season. It's his first season there. Get to know the Championship, etc. The way that Derby play football anyway is sort of this fast attacking, passing game that they've got going on there. It could be a match made in heaven, but I think Derby are going to finish just outside the playoffs in 8th position. And in 7th position, I've gone for Stoke City. Last season, after coming down from the Premier League, they were terrible, but they look to have a very good squad. They've got Jack Butland there and Joe Allen. Sam Vokes, who's come in from Burnley. A Phobie, Benek Phobie, they've got up front as
Lucas.
well. You know,
Yeah.
Players that they bought in, Lee Gregory, as we mentioned earlier. Tommy Smith has come in from Huddersfield.
Stephen Ward as well from Burnley.
Yeah.
Again.
Liam Lindsay as well was a centre back. From a promoted Barnsley last season, so you know they've made some decent signings going out of the door. You know they've got the likes of Charlie Adam,
proper Deadwood,
Darren Fletcher, and they've released a few players and a few people. Eric Peters going to Burnley, I'm not sure for how much though. So that's my 14th to 7th.
Yeah. So moving on to the playoffs now. In 6th, we've actually gone for Stoke. I think they're going to break into the playoffs this year. They have a good squad. They've got rid of the proper deadwood, such as Charlie Adam. I mean, he just waddles around the pitch nowadays.
Experience. He is going to bring Reading experience.
He will bring Reading experience, but
will he move on that pitch?
No, he won't.
He was a very good player in his day, actually.
I mean, he can score a few free kicks, especially the one in the playoff final in 2010. But can he do it nowadays? I mean, can he even get his foot up in the air at all?
Yeah, but
especially with that stomach he has on him.
He's gone from Stoke, so we're talking about Stoke here now. So.
Yeah, so we're talking about Stoke. They've got a good size. They kept loads of good, probably Premier League quality players. But I think they're going to break into the playoffs, and I think they'll finish in 6th position. In 5th, I've actually gone for Borough. Now, good squads. I think
they have got a good squad there. Yeah.
I think their manager will bring a breath of fresh air into the club as well. Maybe get them playing a different style of football to that horrificness that you saw last year.
Of course, they got Songalonga as well up front.
Is that if they can keep him unless he goes to this club?
No, I think Cardiff have ruled out. They've actually come out and said that. Yeah,
I haven't heard that anywhere.
No, I have. Yeah.
Interesting that is, but anyway.
Unless things change, of course.
Yeah, unless things change, but that would have been a good signing for us. If they keep hold of him, then I think they do well this season. I think they'll finish 5th, to be fair. In 4th position, I've gone for Fulham. Another one where I may get a bit of stick in the comments, but Scott Parker, his first full season in management, really. He did sort of turn things around last year, but bringing in the likes of Ryan Babel, but all those players have gone.
Yeah, he's gone now, hasn't he?
What a signing, Anthony Knockout from Brighton. That's really good. Him, Mitrovic and Sessegnon, yes, they have kept all of those two players as well, so they got a deadly front three, but then again...
I think Calavero's come in from Wolves as well.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think he plays as a right winger or a left winger.
Something like that, so they could be good. Their defence as well, will it be as shaky as it was last season? That is the question, which I think it kind of will present them some limits, especially when playing the top sort of 10 teams in the league. And I think they might struggle because of that, and I don't think they're top 2 worthy in my opinion, so I think they'll finish in 4th position. In 3rd now, I've gone for West Bromwich Albion. They brought in a lot of players and spent a lot of money. Slaven Bilic, what an appointment that is, honestly.
Excellent, yeah.
Excellent appointment.
Although I don't think he's managed in the Championship before.
He's never managed in the Championship, but I think he did a good... in my opinion anyway, he did a good job at West Ham. Good at bringing in players. Of course, he brought in Arnautovic when he was there and all those players. Looking at West Brom's transfer window this season, they have brought in Kenneth Zahor from Cardiff.
Yes.
Now, what a good profit we made off that one. 8 million.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry to see him go as well. But
he's good for squad depth, but then again...
He blows, like Kadeem Harris blows hot and cold. I reckon he has the potential to be the best striker in the Championship.
He does,
if his mind is on it and everything. But
and also if he has another striker to kick him up the bum every so often.
Yeah. But sorry to see him go. He can be an absolute handful for defenders.
You watch after saying that, he'll probably score a hat-trick against us now.
Probably, but I don't think he scores enough though. So.
No, I think his highest is about 10, 15.
I think so in that one season, but apart from that one season, he hasn't. He's looked good at on times and other times.
Not cold. Yeah. They've also signed Semi Ajayi as well, who was dreadful at Cardiff. I think he did well at Rotherham. They've sort of converted him.
He was very young when he was at Cardiff, wasn't he?
He was very young, but they've sort of converted him from a centre back into a CDM now, and tall. He was deadly last season for Rotherham, and it did sort of help him. It did almost help Rotherham stay up, but. Yeah, I think that's an alright signing for them to keep their squad depth, but I think they'll narrowly miss out, and I think they'll finish in 3rd this season.
So for my playoff positions, in 6th position, I've gone for Bristol City. Now they've kept the majority of their squad this season. They've re-signed the likes of Thomas Callas from Chelsea was on loan last season. Defensively, very, very good last season and pretty good going forwards as well. But I think they're in the market for a striker, but isn't every other team as well. But I think they're going to do well. I don't think they're going to be looking at those top 2 positions, but I think they should just about make the playoffs. In 5th position, I've gone for Brentford. Kept the majority of their squad as well. They've got to keep hold of the likes of Maupay, their striker. He's got a bag full of goal machine last season, so they brought in the likes of Christian Negrard from Fiorentina, Arthur Reed from Luton, and Joe Adams from Bury.
David Raya.
They brought in Pinnock from Barnsley, who did really well last season defensively.
Janssen, of course.
Pontus Janssen from Leeds. So they're really building up a real good team and squad down there in Brentford. So I can see them finishing 5th, maybe a little bit higher. In 4th position, I've gone for West Brom. Now, I have gone for West Brom to finish in the playoffs, but I could see them missing out. They have lost a lot of players in the close season. The likes of Craig Dawson going to Watford, and Jay Rodriguez going to Burnley. So
and Solomon Rondon as well.
Rondon, but he was at Newcastle anyway, so he's not going to drop down to the Championship. I think when he's gone to China, hasn't he? So
for money, of course.
They brought in some good players. Well, they brought in only a handful of players. As we said before, Kenneth Sahor from Cardiff, he blows hot and cold, but if they can get him playing, they've got a real good player on their hands there. David Furlong in from Queen's Park Rangers, Sammy Leger from Rotherham, who's his career's progressing quite nicely now. Whether he's got the quality to push for a promotion in the Championship, I'm not so sure, but he's developing into a good player. And on loan, they brought in Filip Kravinovic as well from Benfica, so we'll wait to see how he gets on. And the 3rd berth, I've gone for Cardiff City.
Really?
Yeah, I've gone for Cardiff. Now, everybody seems to be predicting Cardiff to either be in the playoffs or go straight up, or a lot of people have, and that worries me. It worries me deeply. We've lost Kenneth Sahor. Our midfield from last season, like Victor Camarasa, aren't there, and Harry Arter. Okay, I know Harry Arter towards the end of the season wasn't there, but left in midfield got the likes of Joe Riles. We brought in Sam Will Volks as well, and Bakuna's there. But I really feel that Cardiff need a top quality midfielder
and a striker as well.
Yeah, a striker too, but a real sort of leader in the centre of midfield. I know that we got the likes of Bobby Reed there, who's going to, I think he's going to set the Championship alight again, and Lee Tomlin, who on his day could be the most skillful player in the Championship. Now I know he didn't travel with the squad along with Gary Medine to America on tour due to
criminal convictions,
all that sort of thing. We won't mention that, but apparently he's got himself together, and I think he scored 4 goals in 4 matches for the under-23. So I think he will be given a chance, but more of an attacking midfielder, not the midfielder I think that Cardiff are after. Wing-wise, I think they can destroy anybody in this division. Josh Murphy and Mendes Lang, very exciting. Of course, we've got Junior Hoyler, and at the back, the Bluebirds have also signed Aidan Flint as well from Middlesbrough. Now I know his time at Middlesbrough wasn't out of this world. He did okay. It was his time at Bristol City really where he did score a lot of goals. I think he's 6'6", so him and Morrison going up for corners, they could be lethal, and we could see a lot of throw-ins in from Volks and Joe Rolls with his at times devastating corner kicks. So Flint had to come in because Bruno Manga, of course, going back to France, and if Manga would have stayed, on his day, could be the best defender in the Championship. But I put Cardiff in 3rd position, but I'm worried that everybody's going over the top with Cardiff going straight back up. There is a possibility that they could miss out on the playoffs even, but there's still a week to go, and I think Cardiff are going to make a couple of signings, and if they make the right signings, they're going to be a real force this season.
So moving on to our top 2 in the automatics now, I have gone for Cardiff to go straight back up in 2nd. Now the reason for this is We've made some pretty decent signings, however we've lost pretty much most of our midfield, which we played last year, but we have bought in Will Volk, so I think he just keeps on improving. He's pretty much perfect for a Cardiff side. Aidan Flint, fantastic, fits into the squad perfectly. Morrison heads in onto Flint from the throw-in from Volks, or from the crosser, like you said, from Joe Rolls, heads it in. Then we've got loads of goals right there. Traditionally, Cardiff, we do all our business late in the transfer window, so we could splash a lot of cash right at the end on a prolific midfielder or an elite striker, sort of one that scores like 20-30 goals in the Championship. So so I think that's going to happen, and I think that'll push us into second place, being a bit cautious there, like you said, probably. Then at the top of the table, we have got Bottlers Leeds from last season. Now, they're finishing first this season.
You reckon they'll win it? Yeah.
I think they'll win the Championship this year. Bielsa's going to have them fired up. They've kept some good players. They kept some of their players from last year, such as Jack Clark, who of course went to Spurs. Now they've loaned it back this season. They've brought in Helder Costa. They've brought in Jack Harrison from Man City, which is good young talent as well. They've also brought in two players from Barcelona as well, which is pretty good. Bielsa's a good manager as well, and I think they're going to go up this season.
Your champions.
As my champions, yeah.
So my top two, I've gone for Leeds in second position. As you said, last year they fell away at the end of the season. Are they going to do that this season? Not so sure. The thing with Leeds, they have brought in some excellent quality again. They've got a real good squad there. Defensively, though, that could be their weakness, I think. So, but bringing in Helder Costa from Wolves is an excellent signing, and these two players from Barcelona as well. So we could see some very good football from Leeds this season, backed by fanatical support there at Elland Road, and they travel well as well. So they're really, they're going to be one of the teams to beat, if not the team to beat this season. In first position, though, my champions, I've gone for Fulham. Now, I did say earlier in the video that teams coming down from the Championship, they don't always go up, but I think the signings that Fulham have made, the players that they've kept, I know a lot of the players that they signed last year have gone out the door, but if they can keep hold of the likes of Sessegnon, we know that they've re-signed Mitrovic, or he stayed on. Have they improved his contract or something?
They've extended it, I think.
Something like that. They're going to do. Carvalho coming in from Wolves as well. Really good signings. Kearney is still there. Their weakness, like Leeds, could be the defence.
Yeah.
How well they'll do away from home midweek in the winter as well. They may come unstuck a lot of the time, but with Fulham they got a bit of financial muscle there as well. How they do that with financial fair play and everything, I don't know. Maybe the players going out, they've got those fees back, and I think they did have quite a few loanees though in the Premier League campaign, but
such as Ryan Babel and stuff.
Schürrle as well. I think he was on loan, but overall I think that my champions for the 2019-2020 season is going to be Fulham. So that concludes our predictions for the 2019-2020 Sky Bet Championship League table. Notoriously difficult, as always it is in the Championship. It's going to be another exciting season, as it always is in the Championship. And before we go, Nathan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Sub to my channel, link in the description below.
Okay, thanks guys. We'll see you in the next video.